Good evening, friends. When I began these fireside chats several months ago, my intent was to inform the public as to what had been undertaken in the campaign, and why, and what the next steps were going to be. Since then, I have also illustrated several points of my platform, discussed the foundation of my vision of the future, and examined the past for instruction as to our present crises. Tonight I would like to revisit the theme of our very first fireside chat. I would like to tell you about how things have unfolded in the past few months, and about how things stand now, and I would like to speak of my hopes for the future of this campaign. I announced my candidacy for United States Senate on the new moon of May. What went without note in the announcement speech, and what no one knew outside of the campaign team, is that controversy had surrounded my potential candidacy from the very beginning. A couple months earlier, I had traveled to Washington, D.C. I stopped by national headquarters in Alexandria, Virginia to speak with Ms. Carla Howell, political director for the Libertarian Party, to seek advice on the conduct of my coming campaign. She advised me on communications and on setting realistic benchmarks and goals. But the most important thing, she said, was to contact Adrian Wiley, who had run for governor of Florida last year, and to ask for his help. I wrote to Mr. Wiley as instructed. He did not respond immediately, but first conducted an internet search of my name. Having found my poetry recitations and religious writings, he concluded that I was not a real libertarian, and far from offering guidance, he demanded that I leave the Libertarian Party and start a new party based on the principles of my religion. It seems Miss Howell was unaware that Mr. Wiley was a religious bigot, and none of us could have imagined that Mr. Wiley would begin a witch hunt to destroy me and my reputation, which campaign has been unfolding for the past 4 months, coincident with my Senate campaign. Today there is not a libertarian in Florida who does not know my name, and I owe that in large part to Mr. Wiley's efforts to defame me. Many, however, are familiar only with the picture painted by Mr. Wiley and his acolytes. Making no effort to listen to my speeches or read my writings, refusing to listen to the answers I give or the explanations in these fireside chats, they have swallowed hook, line, and sinker the bait cast by Adrian Wiley and his clique. They have come to believe that I am a violent madman leading a neo-Nazi infiltration of the Libertarian Party. And that is a shame, because they know nothing of our vision, or of our campaign to determine the fate of America. Adrian Wiley, Alexander Snitker, and Danielle Alexandra have tried to paint the picture of an inactive campaign with only a handful of supporters. In reality, we have visited county affiliates all across Florida and gained the support of many in our party. In the past month, I have campaigned in 1/8 of the counties of Florida. In the coming month, we have speaking engagements scheduled in Tallahassee, Tampa, Jacksonville, and Orlando. I have participated in several interviews and have been offered a monthly column. We have a website, t-shirts, flyers, and stickers, accounts on YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook, and Twitter, and supporters from South Florida to North Florida, East Coast to West. Despite the best efforts of my critics, our campaign has struck a chord. On August 24th, I made a speech in which I urged those listening to disavow the leadership of the Libertarian Party, who had advised them to sell out and buy into the system. Ever since that moment, the Wiley camp has stepped up its propaganda efforts and has gone from making fun of my accent, my poetry, and my religion to manufacturing outright lies about me, my platform, and even those with whom I associate. They will stop at nothing to slander and malign me and those around me without any regard whatsoever to how it is tearing the party apart. On September 8th, I made a speech in which I spoke of the evils of the drug war. On September 11th, I addressed the members of the armed forces, the agents of the federal law enforcement agencies, and the officers of the state and local police departments, asking them to side with us in our struggle. My critics have nothing to say about these speeches, whether in support or condemnation. Because when it comes to the issues, to relevant things that actually matter, my critics are silent and must remain so. They have done nothing constructive in the past 4 months, either in supporting the Libertarian Party or attacking our campaign. Instead, they have begun to seek disaffiliation of the Duval County affiliate in retaliation for its members publicly supporting me. They have made up stories about me being rude to people and leaving trash behind on a table to tarnish my reputation as a Southern gentleman. They have driven great distances to harass me at my speeches and yell at great volume to intimidate those present, so they get the message that supporting me will earn official contempt. They have sought to blacklist and censor me, with Danielle Alexandra banning the very mention of my name from the Liberty Underground show, and Alexandra Snicker declaring that I will never speak in Tampa. They have brought up again and again a eugenics paper I wrote in law school, even though it was one of the first criticisms I addressed. They have called me racist despite my half-Hispanic family, and sexist despite it being public knowledge that I worship the goddess and raise 4 daughters. They have called my supporters neo-Nazis, arousing the ire of many in the Libertarian Party and bringing disgrace to themselves and all libertarians. They have refused to engage in dialogue and have instead waged a keyboard campaign of slander and deceit. They have acted as surly children upset at a newcomer to their game, not as believers in a common cause. It has even been said that if the executive committee does not act to expel me and my supporters, these surly children will take their ball and go home, which is to say that they will exit the party. I say good riddance. This backbiting and infighting has crippled the party, and the departure of those doing the backbiting and promoting the infighting would be a blessing to the cause. If we were in a boat, and 10% of the people in that boat were attacking the people rowing the oars, would we throw the rowers overboard? If we were in a house and the house caught fire, would we waste our time soothing the egos of the people who fanned the flames? If we were tilling a field and several of the farmhands began to attack those who were planting the seeds, would we reward those sabotaging the farm? I say enough with them. I say let them go. I say let us move forward with something constructive and let go once and for all this self-destructive obsession with tearing each other down. Let us not be diverted from our goal, and let us not be dragged down in the mud because of the petty jealousies of others. I am focusing on issues, and I am pressing forward. This Saturday I will be speaking to the Duval County affiliate in Jacksonville on what is at stake in the war for America's soul. Next month I will be speaking at the Hillsborough County affiliate, the University of South Florida, and Florida State University. We will be scheduling many more speaking engagements in the coming months, and I will continue on with these fireside chats. Many of you have told me that you find my words inspiring. Many of you have told me that you wish the best for this campaign. I am asking you now for your help, not just your encouragement. We need volunteers, and we need money. You know the message, and you are prepared in spirit. I now ask that you who can write will help us with outreach, that you who can design websites will help us to improve ours, that you who know marketing will help us to promote the message, that you who have money will open your checkbooks and wallets, that you who are students will help us organize events at your campus, and that those of you with management experience will lend us your skills. If you have been inspired by our platform, then join us in our fight against the federal government and the special interests controlling it. If you care for this cause, then turn your back on the party infighting and fight instead for a better world. Write us at info@invictusforsenate.com and enlist in the cause. Join with me, and I will give you a new America.